Chickadee-bow, 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 chickadee-bow. And there's the light to hit the button. Woo! Why, hello everybody, this is Warcraft Daily, the thing that I do where I'm yours, and you're mine, suckers. So today, well, shucks. Let me tell you about what went on last night. Okay, nothing went on last night, but last night, there was an article that WoW had put out, a partnership between the good folks, Novel and Perculia, the site admin for Wowhead. They managed to, not manage, they got a copy of the physical edition, the physical copy of the Warcraft Collector's Edition that folks like you and I at home and elsewhere are going to get a hold of in, well, just a couple weeks. I'm sure that there are other copies that are going around there, but the whole point is Novel and Perk have their copy. Included with this, for those who might have forgotten about it, is a copy of two books entitled Elegy and A Good War that take place during the War of Thorns events that we had just played through. And kind of aggravatingly enough, they provide some additional insight and facts of, oh, let's clarify some of the events that happened during this War of Thorns event. Give some small additional reveals, nothing too spoilery, but I'm not going to talk about any of the juicy stuff. But there are some questions that happen after the version of the War of Thorns that we play here in WoW, and what we end up reading in the book. So if you don't care too much about spoilers, go ahead and take a look at the article. Some of that stuff is not exactly eye-opening. What's a little bit disturbing for me is that I don't have access to it. I want to have access to it. I don't have access to it. And because this is a book with lore interpretation and all that stuff, it makes it a little bit difficult to swallow. It's like, okay, I'm seeing someone's someone's putting out some text and all that, and there's some things that are revealed, but they're also injecting like some opinion and their observations, of course. But I don't know, maybe it's because I like to do my own brand of analyzing, whether you think it's biased or not. But I'd like to be able to inject my opinion as well, but I can't because I don't have the little books and all that stuff. Anyway, good morning to all y'all smiling faces. Good morning to Lori and to everyone who's going to be joining me today. Today I'm just going to be going over the question of should I be upset that I can't get access to the book and otherwise be able to interpret the lore on my own? But at the same time, I read through the article, and then, like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail as to all the content in that article, but it kind of begs the question of, do I need to, the things that I learned from that article, it's nothing that I didn't just kind of figure out or decide to interpret for myself. So I didn't learn very much, except for a few select things, and maybe I'll talk about that for a little bit. Lori, it's just you and me today. Woo! Usually we have a couple more folks that drop in and say hi. It's all good. Maybe someone more important is talking right now. But that's kind of my thing right now. Is it that big of a deal that there is new information that is contained in books rather than having all this information available, all these reveals available in game? Because I've long been a proponent of having books, because, dude, like the events that happen in books, do they really need to take place in game? Do I, as a video game player, need to like sit down and watch a cinematic play out? Or do I need to, or does Blizzard need to produce a piece of content where you have to play through it? Because that would take lore in a kind of a different direction. It would be interpreted differently, because our characters would be in some cases forced to be there and forced to participate. It's like, God, dude, our characters are not the center of everything. Anyway, good morning to you, Jacob, and to everyone else. But do I need to have that? There's been a lot of back and forth. I have a lot of back and I have a lot of back and forth conversations with people in comments and elsewhere about that very debate. But I still believe pretty firmly that we don't need to be spoon-fed all of the facts and details and little reveals and things like that, regardless of whether they are disconnected from the game, you know, because it's in a book, because it's in a comic or something like that, or it's something that we just learn later, in like an interview, a tweet, or you know, from Alex Afrasiabian or something like that. I don't think it's fair to hold Blizzard to that necessarily. Yeah, the nice thing about just having a book is, one, you can revisit the story, and two, there's a lot more, for me, there's a lot more fun in analyzing that because it's text. We can look at the meaning behind text. When it's a video like the Warbringer series, it's fun. It's fun to look at and dissect because pictures can speak 1,000 words, but it's different. And I prefer to do my lore interpretations when they are based on text. The problem, the small problem that I have about Wowhead having basically an exclusive exclusive deal with being able to access this book content is that no one else can really talk about it unless they have the book. It's like data mining, but worse, because not only do they have all the information, but they're able to give their opinions and analysis on it and all that stuff, and no one else can, because no one else has the book, which is kind of due. But of course, those are, like, you know, considered spoilers. Not everyone cares about them anyway. And in the end, once all the books are read, once all the videos are made and all the interpretations are done, we're going to be plopping down on Kultros and Zandlar and trying to farm for Azerite gear and trying to level up. And so a lot of that stuff is going to be sort of brushed under the rug. And in the meantime, we're going to get some more of these small lore reveals. Oh my God, Sylvanas did this. Holy crap, Greymane did that. And people might get upset about stuff. And why? I know I have like so many of my add-ons were like off when I was setting up all this setting up my add-on video from yesterday. So some of my add-ons are like kind of busted. Whoops. Let's see. I want to do some PvP stuff. I want to get that. And there we go.
Greetings.
Alright. So let's see. Alright, let's go. Shin, what's up? And good morning. Oh, usually you're here like bright and early, Shin. I think what they may want to do, says Lori, is after the expansion is over and place and then place a book out. I mean, heck, we can write. I mean, shucks, as players, we can write a book if we wanted to. That detail the events that go on during the expansions. It's like, damn it, we can be the freaking Chronicle, and we do. The community is great. We put so much of this stuff together. You know, piece everything together, speculate, and so on and so forth. Like I said, I just don't like the fact that right now the source of information is so limited that whatever opinions that are said about it right now are going to just kind of stick there for the next 2 weeks or so until anyone else with the collector's edition gets a hold of it, because only collector's edition people get a hold of the book too. So it's still limited, and that kind of sucks. But eventually everything's going to get out, and then from there it's going to be a clash of interpretations. I make efforts to try to be unbiased, but the joke goes around long enough, I reinforce it long enough, I'm pretty horde biased. But that's okay, because I think that that provides some additional perspective, whether I'm wrong or not. And there have been many times where I've been wrong or my interpretation was poor or something like that. But I still think it's valuable. It lends to conversation, because I don't mean to troll people with some of my own analyses and opinions and the way I decide to, the way that I see things. Let's see. You lost quest last night. Yeah, I heard about that, Tori. I saw that, but I saw that statement from Blizzard last night about people straight up losing quests. And did I lose quests? No. I think these are all the things that those are all the things that I've had before. That sucks. That really sucks. It really sucks that there's no solution for that either. So, books will be released online. At least that's what Novel said. I thought that he said he hopes that they're released online. Something like that. Collectors get the hardcover, but we should all have access to. Okay, cool. I read that article right when it came out, so that was like 8 hours ago, right before bed. I'm like hella sleepy. I'm like, God damn it, now what? And I'm looking at everything. Oh, it's too much to read. But cool. I wonder when is that gonna come out. Yeah, they said they will not get. Yeah, that part sucks. I hope I'm released on. Dread thing, I'm fucking stuck in this game. I'm not like Asmongold stuck, but I'm trapped here. There's no way out. I thought of trying to do like a Monday stream, or the thought crosses my mind every now and then. Hey, like, hey, maybe I should do a Monday stream, sometime. Nah, or at least it tends to never like really turn out that way. And I don't know what add-on is like causing me problems. I have most stuff shut down, and I think all my add-ons are up to date. All right, are you gonna try to run, or are you gonna at least stand there and die like a freaking man? Come on, Orb. Make Sarfang proud. Bum your sleep schedule because of the late night videos. Well, late nights for well, it was only an add-on video, and I really should start rethinking like exactly when I deploy some of those videos, because you know, I think about it and I'm like, okay, I'm deploying this thing and it's like early morning in Europe, and it's pretty late at night here on the Yankee side of things. Oh, who shot me down? Someone shot me down and yet didn't follow through. That's not cool. Anyway, the add-ons seem to interfere with Dark. I'm not in Darkshore though. Aww. You're not fine. Then I'm just gonna like kill shit myself. You like his add-on video? Whose add-on video? Oh, Asmongold's add-on video? I didn't know he still made videos. I thought he just does streams these days. Let's see. Yes, complain about lore. This is what I need. Well, come on, Yanjan. You know I'm not that kind of complainer, but I was talking earlier about how one, it's the old argument of having having a certain experience in game and having the experience and having the interpretation of that experience be redefined or otherwise changed in a book or something like that. That part does sort of suck, but at the same time I think to myself, do I need that? Do I need to have Blizzard explain every little thing to me? Because one thing that comes to mind, this isn't really a spoiler, but by the end of the Darkshore, by the end of the Warthorns, you know, Sylvanas is pissed, yada yada yada. There's one question that's asked, but it's heavily implied. Does Sylvanas already know that Sarafang failed to kill Malfurion? And like I said, the common thought is, oh yeah, absolutely, because Sylvanas explicitly asked him, hey, you know, bring me his head, blah blah blah, and he didn't. So, ta-da! But then it was explained explicitly in the Good War mini novel. The thing is, it's like, well, we should have, like, you know, we could have for the most part, have figured that out, and even and it doesn't make a difference, but it does at least provide a little bit more of a understanding as to what's going on in Sylvanas' head. This war, you know, she basically her campaign to complete the War of Thorns failed. She didn't kill Sarafang. She incurred pretty heavy losses, but we don't quite know how heavy the losses are, and that's part of my problem as to why I'm like, oh man, I wish I had the book on this so I can actually read through everything and then understand it, because I don't know what Burke and Novel had not said. I'm sure they did a pretty good job of being you know, pretty unbiased and all that with their interpretation of the lore, but it's not guaranteed either. You know, I would love to see like a little bit more to it. Maybe I overemphasized when I started talking about the idea of Anduin and the Divine Bell and what the heck sort of influence that might be causing. Maybe I'm overstating it, but I don't think it's been talked about enough either. And some people are like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Or some people never knew about the whole thing about the Divine Bell at all. So there are those things that I would like to see considered more. I just can't, because I don't have access to the freaking book. So, Paul's version of the complaint is finding the positive spin on it, and that is okay when you positive to balance. Yeah, that is kind of what I do. I'm not shy about that, because there's enough angry people out there, aren't there? All right, I'll let myself die now. See, that was painful. For some reason, I pressed the update all button in Mini when I only use it for add-ons. Oh, you bad. Goodness, coffee is good. Oh, isn't it? Time to burn down GM Island. We haven't forgotten about Firelord Nomi. What does Nomi have to do with this? Unless they were chucking, you know... It's like those aren't just rocks that the Horde are chucking over at Intelligence. So those are like, you know, Nomi cakes. They're like, oh shit, they're little Nomi fruit cake. There we go. Even the graveyard is not safe from battle. Oh, stop it. War mode. War mode. War mode. Oh, don't die, dude. Can't embarrass myself here. Oh, how about this? Oh, shit. I'm gonna die. Oh, man. I wanted to knock him back. Anyway. Good morning, Fag. Let's see. Yeah, I get that. Honestly, I'm just amazed by how much public opinion is whipping back and forth based on the Bella info. There's so many details that seem to be important. I'm really curious. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about them too much. And again, we don't know everything. I was saying earlier how it's, you know, pretty irritating for me, because I want to be able to give my opinion on it, but I can't. It's like data mining, I said, but it's worse because it's data mining and we're not getting all the information. Even though Wowhead has all the information, we only have what we got from the article. So regardless of how much effort, you know, regardless of effort, there is going to be bias until we get all the information, which is a little unfortunate. Okay, we're just having perpetual fighting here. So then am I ready again? Oh, Rayman, you and your truth. God. Today is the 5,000th day of WoW. Wait, really? Is this mathematically the 1,000th day of WoW? Because I believe that. That actually sounds plausible. Oh, the game sounds are a little bit higher? Okay, I know I turned them up a little bit. Alright. I turned them down a little bit. Oh, I'm wearing my transmog stuff. That's right. Or run speed stuff, I should say. Ah, well, it doesn't matter. Is it really the... now I gotta look. Did someone say something about that in, like, Reddit or Wowhead or something like that? No, 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 no. Nah, nothing about the 5,000th day of WoW. Alright. Oh, how funny. Wowhead is putting out an LVUI add-on customization guide. For those of you who are a big fan of the ginormous add-on, go ahead and take a look at that. It's funny. I put out an add-on video yesterday, and I even kicked it off with saying, "Hey, this is this is an a la carte kind of thing for those of you who aren't interested in just using something like LVUI, which is otherwise a great add-on." And then a good chunk of the comments are like, "Well, why don't you just install LVUI and save yourself some time making a video?" So, her. I'm like, "Oh, that's clever." Anyway, nerds, what's up, man? See, the math checks out. Was told. Oh, you were just told another player by another player. Top post of our WoW is the 5,000th day. Where's my Reddit thing? Happy 5,000th day of World of Warcraft. Damn. 5,000 days / played. God, Blizzard, get a life. Oh no, I see it, Zach. Thank you. All right. Anyway, went to the dentist today and got a compliment, so it was all right. See, I told you the dentist wouldn't be so bad. I think yeah, I think it was you that was talking about that earlier. More like 4,000 days with all the downtime between Vanilla and Wrath. Oh shit! Yes, absolutely. I do wonder, like, how long, you know, between maintenances and all that stuff, how much downtime has WoW incurred over the past 13 some odd years? Oh, we have this one. Shit. Wrong one. 119,976 hours. Well, when you think about it, WoW has, you know, WoW is like multi-boxing, right? Multi-boxing redundant servers and things like that. So that's a lot. So that's a lot of power that they've been using. That's something that I'm curious. I want to see another infographic by Blizzard that talks about more mundane things like kilowatt usage per hour or something like that. I think dumb facts like those would kind of interest me. Or these are the many we went through these many hard drives and servers. We went through this many software revisions. We obviously know how many builds that they have access to. We get that information all the damn time. But that'd be kind of cool. But anyway, I was supposed to be bitching about lore. It's hard for me to bitch about lore without giving spoilers, and I'm not going to give spoilers, just like some small reveals. All the books really do a good war and elegy, which we'll hopefully have access to sometime soon, is that we are going to get just a little bit more clarification as to like some of the details and explanations. Like they get into, I guess one big kind of thing that makes my brow furrow like that. Odd is the motivations of Sylvanas and why she wanted to wage this war in the first place. And the knee-jerk reaction from most players has been, oh, it's because she's evil. Duh. Which I've been on record many times saying that's a boring way to explain it. And, you know, that to me, calling some, not to knock anyone, but at least personally, I feel like to just straight up, oh yeah, she's evil. To me, that's a celebration of being woefully ignorant and not wanting to understand who your opponent is or who your adversary is. Oh, she's evil. Well, whatever. Even for Anduin, by the end of the Fourth Storm book, to say, oh, Sylvanas is truly lost. You know, he's given up on her. I almost find that uncharacteristic, because at least part of my perception of Anduin is that he's one of those really goody two shoes kinds of heroes where it's like, okay, maybe I can find some good in her, and he'll stubbornly hold on to that thought despite how much it hurts him. But yeah, they get into Sylvanas's motivations for the war. And I'm like thinking to myself, well, yeah, I know that. You know, that part seemed pretty obvious, even though I didn't really speak of it very much. So, but I guess the problem there is that you need to also understand everything that happened in like Legion and some of Sylvanas' past to really understand why she decided to attack Teldris, why she's deciding to start a war in the first place on her own terms. Sylvanas' brain damage. Sylvanas actually has a glorious reasoning for it, Chaos Land says. And Neville's voice acting, it made me wet. Ew. I didn't look at the video. I only read the article. Because I didn't have 40 minutes of energy in me to listen to the whole thing. He was in so much pain because of what happened, though. I sympathize with the man. Jenny used to be like that too, but experience broke her. Anduin hasn't witnessed as much yet. They say that Sylvanas was corrupted by an old god, or it's all a bad dream. I'll be pretty pissed if I think that's been the universal thing that's been discussed with lore heads of all types. That that we really hope that what Sylvanas is doing is entirely of her own volition. Because otherwise that it totally disturbs her. It totally disturbs her character, and it defiles her development. It's like, oh, so she wasn't really doing this. She's really a goody two shoes, and she meant well as a good undead person, but those mean old gods were like, no, you're gonna be a bad girl. And she's like, no, I want to be a good girl, and the old gods are like, no, and whatever. That's what happened to Bob. You're gonna find out tomorrow. That's unfortunately that's why you're not really gonna see a video today. If anything, I'm going to well, yeah, you're not gonna I'm gonna push this and upload today's daily Warcraft daily. So hi everyone. I'm gonna upload that. But instead, I'm going to at least try to do a little bit more, put in a little bit more effort as to explain like what happened to Bob at the end of the War of Thorns event. All right, let's see. Is he really good, or is the bell making him be moral though? Just saying, can you call someone good while they have a shot caller on that's stopping them from being them? I mean, at the moment, the effects of the bell appear benign, and Anduin still seems like his good old self. It's just that he has a thing that is reinforcing his that's reinforcing what he would already do anyway. The problem is that it's still an influence. Just because something is influencing you to do the thing that you've always been doing doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing the right thing either. Because remember, Anduin isn't just a good guy, because he's a good guy. He isn't just a good guy though. He's the leader of people, and he has to listen to these people because they're his subjects and all that. Something that is explained pretty well that didn't really cross my mind. So this is something that is revealed in the books, is that if you think about the events of Legion and again Greymane's actions against Sylvanas made no aggressive actions. Well, yeah, the actions between Sylvanas and Greymane. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but it was Greymane who attacks Sylvanas during the events of Stormheim, because again Greymane has a freaking airship and Sylvanas had boats, and boats don't chase flying ships. It's usually the other way around. But basically, I'm going with the thought that Greymane was definitely the aggressor, but he acted unilaterally. He acted independent of the rest of the Alliance. They weren't really a part of it. And yet he wasn't punished or reprimanded or something like that. Or this was something that was sanctioned by Anduin. So that's what makes Sylvanas think to herself, shoot, no. Like, we can be fighting freaking demons and all that stuff. The end of the world might be happening, and as you're trying to fight these things, Gangrene might be out there trying to stab you in the back. So that's where Sylvanas gets some of her reasoning that Anduin doesn't really have a good control over the Alliance. Now that said, this is early Legion. Tensions are high. Varian just died. Kind of sucks. Spoiler alert: Varian and Rin died in Legion. And yeah, and so we are where we're at today. But that's some of the reasoning. It's something that if you just kind of sit down and think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, that sounds reasonable. The idea that it's revealed here, it creates kind of a weird reaction in part of players. You know, some people are like, oh, I'm gonna switch over to Twitch in a little bit, by the way. Some people are like, well, shoot, I don't like that. I want Blizzard to portray this in game. Screw you, man. You know, we want that, but did we need that? Do we need to know that, or can it simply be interpreted that way without it being overtly explained to us? Like, Blizzard, I need help understanding this. Oh no. Am I the only one who actually likes Sylvanas? I like her just fine. I'm very despite my analysis and my bias and whatnots, I'm very disconnected from it. Like I said this yesterday, like at the end of the day, I turn around and the world of Warcraft is effectively behind me. Yeah, I can switch gears and all that just fine. But yeah, I like Sylvanas. I like Anduin too. So there are some things that I question about their development, but otherwise I'm cool with them. I'm still not a fan of the War of Thorns stuff. I wonder if Blizzard would have killed off somebody important instead of a character created just to kill. Would have solved a lot of the criticism. I kind of agree. It does suck that Delaran Summermoon is a character that lives and dies in the War of Thorns campaign. But on top of that, you get a better context of her in the books. So it's like her character isn't even being sold very well. Like for a Horde player, I just run, I'm running in and I'm jacking up some NPC, whatever, and then I see her and she's dead, and like that's it. That's what actually made me even predict or speculate, even though it's so far off, it's definitely not going to happen. But I speculated that the Horde are going to accidentally kill Talia Foredragon, or Bolvar's daughter. They're going to accidentally kill her in some bar fight and not even realize who it is that they're killing. They're going to enrage the Alliance and all that stuff, and the Horde are going to be like, what? We saw her, she just looked like some NPC that was trying to start shit with us, and we killed her in a big old AoE fuckfest. Like that was it. So perspective is important, but more than anything, the entire exercise of this War of Thorns event is to start shit. We saw it on those 4 commercials that Blizzard wants people to feel they want people to hunker down and plant their feet within their factions and show a little bit of faction pride, whether it is yeah, for the Alliance, fuck the Horde, they burned our tree down, we're so mad. Or the Horde being, fuck that, I'm with Sylvanas all the way. Or it's, oh my god, what do I do about this? Sylvanas is doing this, and I'm left to question my loyalty. They won. Blizzard did exactly what they wanted to do. They riled people up. I tweeted this earlier, I tweeted this the other day, where the word Sylvanas was trending on Twitter. And that means something. People are talking about it. It's a huge hype thing. And Blizzard wanted to sell something controversial. They did it. They sold something controversial that people are definitely talking about. Because if the War of Thorns was if all it was just fighting, we're going to attack this zone, and we're going to take out some Night Elves, and we're going to give our show of force to the Night Elves and tell them what time it is. That's weak. That would be such a weak story, and things would be played off so poorly. imagine if the Cataclysm. Imagine if we played through the Cataclysm, or imagine if the elemental invasion happened and Ogremar was in fact burned to the ground. Holy crap! That kind of means something. Or maybe more precisely, during the Cataclysm, the war in Ashenvale was a lot more permanent and impactful, and storied characters like did happen to die, but stuff like that didn't really happen. It was kind of toothless. Here, Blizzard's bearing it all, and maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. Let me get caught up with chats, and then I'll switch over to Twitch. Okay, riddle me this, says Zach. Is the problem the motivation? Riddle me this: is the problem the motivation for burning the tree, or who she was with when it burned? It would be better if Malfurion was dying. Would it be better if Malfurion was dying on the beach? You're gonna have to clarify for that for me, nerds, and save it for Twitch, because I'm gonna be switching over in just a minute. I think he was rethinking about those thoughts of every minute gathering. He could see the Forsaken and their families rejoice and seeing one another. He could see okay. Now he's responsible for his own death. It isn't semantics. She made a military move, but it gets talked about like it was murder. Yeah, like murder and all that stuff. That doesn't happen. It's the War of Thorns. It's not, the assassination of or it's not exactly the cold-blooded assassination of Malfurion. Screw faction pride. Tree symbolic. The tree being symbolic to hope is BS. It's not shown in any alliance propaganda. No, but it is your home, and all that. But Delaran was trying to sell it as hope. She drew the arrow that killed Liam. Nothing else matters to her father. Well, regarding Gen, I have no question about his desire to take Sylvanas out. It's not hard to make things trending. It's not hard to make things trending on Twitter. It is an old game though, Phage. So, there is something to that. Take a look on books, especially Stormrage and Alpha Teldrassil will build as a symbol of hope. Despite the fact he made I don't recall that at all. It's been years since the Stormrage book. Shucks. Short-term, no, don't show it to the people. I said he has every reason to be mad, but the player acts like it was deliberate, and that's different. Oh, okay. I agree that game may no longer views all Forsaken as hopelessly lost, but he will never forgive Sylvanas. I'm just not talking directly to the mic. That's all. Let's say, okay, I understand that killing innocents in a war is a crime, is it not? If it's not, it is still evil. Well, here's the funny thing. Sylvanas doesn't give a shit. She's like, oh, it's a war crime, whatever. I'm trying to make a statement, and you can call it a crime, whatever. What am I afraid of? What am I going to do? What's going to happen? Am I going to get arrested? Ooh, big deal. That's pretty much what's going on in her head, the way I see it. Let's see. He's last living there. Been playing since 04. All right. So anyway, all right. So I'm caught up well enough. I'm like 10 minutes over. I'm gonna switch over to Twitch like right now. So if you want to join me there, nerds, if you're still around, I'd love to have you join me, and we can talk about what that question was. I didn't quite understand it. So let's see. Oh, I missed what Dragon Girl said. There was a reason she turned Dalen's head to the tree to watch it burn so she could see. Then yes, hope can be killed. Part of me is just thinking Delaran's like, fuck, I shouldn't have said anything, to kind of give her that last bit of torment. She's like, if I didn't say anything, would the tree still have burned? It probably would have, given what we know now. Watch my Twitch channel. Let me link it. Just go to twitch.tv/SoulSoBreezy. So I'll see you there in just a few minutes. I'm going to do some things really quick, and I'll be right back. So I'll see you over there in a few minutes. Until then, though, stay safe, stay happy, and as always, stay breezy, breezy.